I'm extremely proud of my early videos. The Changes series put the channel on the map. The Inside Star Wars series was probably the most fun I've ever had making stuff for this channel. If you've been around the old HelloGreedo stomping grounds for a while, you know the channel has gone through several transitions, developmental stages. While I still hold many, if not all, of the opinions I had when I was ranting and raving about the prequels and special edition years ago, if I were to make those videos nowadays, they would be way different. Less angry video game nerd, and more Mr. Rogers with a lot of cursing. That was never intentional. The shift was never intentional. I've just changed. Therefore, the channel has changed. Everybody changes. I started this thing in 2011, that's 7 years ago. So what do I think of the Star Wars prequels now? Well, sometimes I see people putting words in my mouth, saying that HelloGreedo hated the prequels. Nope, I've never said that I hated the prequels. I've always said that I was disappointed with the prequels. That still holds true, but I've never said I hated them. I've never once said that they ruined my childhood, or that they ruined Star Wars. Because those two statements are dumb as shit, and will forever be dumb as shit. I've actually grown to appreciate the prequels for what they are. That doesn't mean that I like them any more than I did in the past. That doesn't mean I pop them into my Blu-ray player or even give them pause when I see them on TV. I appreciate them for a number of reasons. I appreciate them for being what a certain generation thinks of when they think of Star Wars. For a lot of people, the prequels are their Star Wars, and that's cool. The majority of my generation probably thinks of the OT when they think about Star Wars. The generation after mine looks at the prequels, and the current generation will probably look at the sequels as their Star Wars. That's just how it goes. I appreciate the prequels for broadening the Star Wars lore and opening up unexplored nooks and crannies to tell stories in. I appreciate them for giving the Clone Wars TV show a foundation, a show that I really think is fantastic. I appreciate the overall story of the prequels. Corruption in the ranks, a power-hungry madman taking advantage of situations that he actually put in motion, using crisis to his advantage, an army of pawns, blind loyalty, people being duped. There are a lot of interesting themes that run through the prequels that I truly do appreciate. A lot of political themes, social themes, and cultural themes. And here's something I've been thinking about recently. There was a quaintness to Star Wars in the past, wasn't there? I'm sure a lot of factors go into me thinking that. The fact that I was much younger and didn't seek out other people's opinions or even seek out fandom outside of my circle of friends. And the internet certainly wasn't what it is now, with constant rhetoric being slung like chimp shit. And social media didn't exist. Star Wars was just something that I would pop into the VCR. I couldn't go online and hear dummies like myself talking about Star Wars. It was smaller, at least from my perspective. I was younger. I don't think it was any smaller on a macro scale. It was and always has been enormous. People are just talking about it now on a globally visible platform. There were always product tie-ins, always enormous advertising budgets, always a ludicrous toy production line. Star Wars Celebration started in 1999, but now the world is just louder. Things are a little more in your face, and we invite that into our lives. But Star Wars to me just felt more quaint, more personal, even in the time of the Star Wars prequels. And that quaintness certainly is nostalgic, isn't it? And the thing is, kids who are growing up with the sequels right now, they'll have that quaintness too. They don't give a fuck about what Twitter user DildoBaggin69 thinks about Haldo's lightspeed maneuver. They're not watching Rant and Raven Ronnie on YouTube profess his love for these new movies, or Cool Guy Video Game Man kick and scream about Yoda shooting lightning from the sky. I don't know if these are actual YouTubers, I just made them up on the spot. But these kids couldn't give a fuck. Star Wars to them is smaller, more quaint. It's a fun ride. So yeah, I think I appreciate the prequels more than I used to. I think watching the Clone Wars has given me a new appreciation for the prequels. Not that I like them any more than I used to, but I appreciate them more than I did. And a big part of that appreciation no doubt has to do with communicating with fans of the prequels over these past 7 years and seeing their passion for something that I'm kind of meh about, sprinkling a little perspective on my brain. I'm not a big fan, but I'm a fan of the fact that people are a fan of them. They're not exciting to me. The characters feel flat, the action feels dull. I dig the overall macro story, but on a micro level, they don't move me like the other films do in the franchise. But that's okay. The definition of Star Wars is different for everyone, and that's something that I came to realize over the past 7 years of the channel's existence. HelloGreedo, out.